Hello, guys, and welcome to the only match of the day, the Thursday serving of SA Dota Wolf versus SG Esports. This match matters a lot for one team, does not matter at all for the other. But the team that doesn't matter at all promised us that they would play their best because Duster, he does not care about results, he cares about spite, and he said that he wants to win out of spite against SG. Why? I don't know. He says he's making beefs with everybody, so it's hard to really keep track at this point with Duster. But he did promise that he's going to beat SG Esports. He actually messaged me before the game about how pumped he is, so I'm pretty sure he's more than set. We're going to have to find out, though. Steenie, Wingblade will be the panelists for this wonderful encounter. It's a simple best of three. And if we can look quickly at the table, I'll tell you what this best of three means for SG. For SG Esports, this best of three would allow them to avoid relegation, put them away from Infinity and Hokori, and we would avoid tiebreakers altogether for that bottom side of that table. If Hokori managed to win against Infamous by some sort of miracle, then we would get a three-way tiebreakers as opposed to two. So Hokori definitely needs SG to lose, because if SG win, then Infinity and Hokori will just be the two relegated teams. A lot is riding on this then. So we're going to have to find out if SG can make it out of that bottom side of the table or if they will join Infinity and Hokori. What a wild table, man. As I look at the end of the season, Astini, how much would you have bet that Hokori would end up at the bottom?
I would actually bet quite a lot. Like, honestly.
Really?
I don't want to blame the guys, but I feel like the last 2 seasons, they were kind of easier. But now, like, Wolf, they are really like a Division 1 team in Division 1. Like, previous seasons, there were like 2 teams that weren't playing up to the level. So now that everyone is playing up to the level, they lost Tio Licor. It felt like they were going that way, unfortunately.
Wow. All right. Those are harsh words, but fair. You don't think that last season they looked good, though?
Yeah, they did. They looked better. But like when we say, oh, they almost went to the major, they went to like tiebreakers against Biscos, I guess it make you feel like they played better than they actually did. I just think like it was a season where Biscos was kind of lost. If I recall correctly, it was also Apu King of Kings, and they were playing very weird Dota. There was like Balrogs, which was like a kind of free win. Also Infinity, like, so yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. All right, let's look at the draft, though. We've talked enough about the tables. Wingblade, what can you tell me about this start from Wolf Team, the Visage and the Nyx Assassin? Nyx, just for the Dawnbreaker?
Yeah, Nyx is definitely one of the best heroes against Dawnbreaker, and I feel like Visage is just one of the best heroes in general. And Tavo plays a mean Visage, so this is a pretty scary start of a draft for Wolf Team. And of course, Dawnbreaker is still gonna be good, but I like this opening from Wolf Team. It looks good.
Do you think SG should respond with a Monkey King this early? He's not the first man, is he?
I'm not sure. They've picked it 5 games now, I believe, and they've only won 2 out of those 5. I feel like Berna's Monkey King is very good, but you don't want to pick it this early.
Okay. Steenie, why the Kunkka?
Because it sucks to be a mid laner against Nyx. You see Nyx and like you had 12 options and now you have 1, which is Kunkka. Like you also have like TA, DK, Viper that you don't care that much because you're not like int hero. But like every other hero is like int hero and you care a lot about Nyx. Even like Viper that I mentioned, even being agility, you have like AoE spell, so you hate the hero. Even Kunkka has somehow AoE, so you just hate the hero.
Yeah, and I think that's fair enough, yeah. Obviously, you would have picked the TA here because TA mid is kind of not a thing, even though Faker still plays it, and Viper even less. So, well, the Kunkka, I guess, is the pick. Dawnbreaker gets flexed now, even though SGS had the preference for putting either mid or off lane. We'll see how this draft develops. How much preference would you give to a Visage counter in lane, Steenie? Because now that you lost the 8th pick, there's not a good position for you to put your carry in.
I would give a lot of priority because that's the lane you already know. So you should be answering to that. And like if Visage gets out of control, you just stomped. So if this hero is getting, like, if he gets 1 kill into you on the lane phase, probably he's getting 4. So you should not allow this hero to go out of control. The Bristol backband is really good. There is still Monkey, as you mentioned. There's still Bloodseeker, Life Stealer, some kind of solid laners against Visage, and I think SG they should grab on the second phase.
Okay. Yep.
I think it's so hard
side...
though. Completely shut down a Visage in lane. Even those heroes that you mentioned, you make one mistake, and Visage just poops on you. Especially because Nyx has like a really long duration level 1 stun.
Is that an okay lane actually? Does Visage work well with Nyx, even though Nyx is usually a weak laner?
Yeah, I think so. Because Visage doesn't need a lot of extra damage in lane, and having some kind of annoying tanky hero in the front line with a stun, it's gonna work. Wouldn't say that it's the best combination, because as you said, Nyx is kind of weak, but in this specific situation, I feel like he's stronger than he normally would be.
Okay. That's fair enough. Are there any supports that you could consider as well to make this lane easier, or is it really just up to the carry matchup with Blade?
I think there is nothing you can do to make this lane easier. It's just gonna be misery.
Okay.
I like Jakiro against Visage. It's a way, at least in the game, to counter the hero.
Then Jakiro against Nyx?
That's the thing, like, everything that you think, Nyx makes you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
That's
why Schofield left Nyx.
I feel like Jakiro is not that bad for a Visage. If you want to ruin a Visage's day, you want to pick Wyvern. And that's why Wolf Team picks it themselves. Because it's good in lane, because Wyvern tends to be pretty good in lane anyway. But in the mid game, you just completely ruin a Visage. It means that he can never have his birds close. Otherwise, he just solo kills himself. Or anyone who's close to the birds. So I really love this pick from Wolf Team. I was about to suggest Wyvern for SG.
Yeah, I love the Wyvern pick also. I've been talking about this hero for so long that I want to see Duster on the hero, and I think like if SG doesn't pick Bloodseeker, they lost. That's already my guess on the draft.
That's quick. Damn. Yeah,
I think Bloodseeker or bust. There's no other options, Astini?
Against this Wyvern, you need some sort of long team fight. Maybe Life Stealer. But really, maybe.
I think Bristle would work. Oh, never mind.
Bristle's bad. Yeah.
You can go something like a PL, but you don't want to pick PL and be countered. Like, so it's really hard to play PL without last pick.
To be fair, it's a pretty free PL game for now. But you're right. Well,
Yeah,
what could possibly... You have carry and mid counter. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
They banned almost every single hero that Berna played so far, except for Wraith King and Dusa, who were both counted by Mana Burn, and Monkey King. Oh, never mind, Monkey King's also banned. So there's nothing left for Berna, except for Jug, apparently. And Jug isn't like the best hero in lane against Visage.
You said Bloodseeker or bust. Is this a bust then, Astini? You think SG just lost because of this Jug pick?
Yeah. And they can still flex Visage and pick something like... but Slider Nyx doesn't make sense. But they can still flex the Visage. They already played mid.
Okay.
They go for a very generic Life Stealer, covers the Dawnbreaker, decent against Hoodwing, nothing too special.
I think this is Duster telling HFN not to farm all game.
Well, that's not up to him. HFN's gonna do what HFN does, brother. I've seen HFN farm all game on an Ursa, so I don't know, man.
I mean, you have to try as a captain, right? I mean, if you have a player like HFN, he's probably still gonna buy Battle Fury, but, you know, it's still gonna be better than giving him something like a Luna and just knowing that the game is gonna go 90 minutes.
He is stuck on the Battle Fury Life Stealer meta, that's true. Yeah, that's his classic. Bread and butter.
But to be fair, last time he played Life Stealer, he was farming heroes. He had like 14 kills. He killed that, like, he got that solo kill on the Morphling. I guess the cameras didn't catch that solo kill. That he just infest and got out and got a solo kill on the Morphling.
No.
Against Infinity.
Did he like DDoS the Morphling or what? How does that happen?
He was too quick. RR.
Yeah,
man.
Someone
RR.
posted on Twitter, it took something like 20 frames, something like this. I don't have the exact info, but it was just way too fast.
True King HFN, man.
Okay, I shouldn't doubt HFN.
What we're obviously joking around. HFN, we know HFN knows how to play. Or the last pick for SG. I mean, right now their lineup seems unthreatening to Wolf team in its entirety. So what could SG pick as their off lane to threaten them a bit more? What's the last proposition they can have here?
I'm
Razor?
5 seconds remaining.
guess that could work.
That's a bit wild, but yeah, I can see that. Frank Razor.
The thing is, it would be a Dawnbreaker 5 with Jugger. Does this lane have any synergy? Like, can you set up a kill with a Dawnbreaker? Or need something like a Green Stroke, Crystal Mating, anything?
Yeah,
Last pick one of those? Oh wow, even Razor's been.
I'm not sure if the Dawnbreaker is going to be a support. Because
So you just last pick a 5 here? Or a 4 maybe?
I think that's an option, because Dawnbreaker Jug is gonna feel really bad. I guess they could do Jug Hoodwink and play Dawnbreaker as a position 4. Maybe pick some kind of ranged offlane.
5 seconds remaining.
Block 5, maybe?
Yeah.
Because Hoodwink is definitely a 4. Like, it's always LTH. I was mentioning these, like, that's the
true.
best hero of the guy by far. Like, by far. He looks like Division 1 top tier on this hero. And on other heroes, I don't want to say where it looks like.
Ah,
He
say
belongs.
it! Say it!
Say
Stevie.
it!
Open qualifiers, it looks like.
Oh my god! Oh my god, ST, that's too much. I thought you were gonna go Division 2. Oh wow.
In pre-game,
they
he
don't
said
listen to either of you
3k
guys.
MMR.
Night Stalker's the choice for SG. Frankly, when you need an option at the end because you feel like your draft is not strong enough, if you last pick a 5 here, you're just kind of sending your draft on the drain. So that's why the Night Stalker comes out,
10
even if you sack
seconds
your Juggernaut lane.
I'm not sure if I like this.
5 seconds remaining.
I guess Night Stalker is decent against Wyvern. Could be good against Lifestealer if you get the jump. Because Lifestealer doesn't really like buying BKB. And the silence is really detrimental. I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough though. Because it's not like Lifestealer is the sole win condition for Wolf team. Because they also have a Visage who's gonna have a really nice lane. And now a Timbersaw. This looks like a pretty darn decent Timbersaw game to me.
Yeah, it's a mid lane Visage now, right, for ADR? Oh no, mid lane Timbersaw.
Yeah, it's against the Kunkka.
Alright. That is a wash of a lane. There's no chance for the Kunkka to do anything, really.
I don't think it's like instant loss. Because Kunkka is really good in early levels against Timbersaw.
But then obviously it's just a farming lane, right? I guess that's kind of what they both do. They just go take the small camp, they whirling death the creeps, they just push it out. So we're gonna see the Timbersaw's impact early. How much can a Timbersaw in the mid lane have an impact? We haven't seen this pick in forever in that lane, Wingblade.
I mean, Timbersaw is obviously not the best ganking hero, but he can put a lot of pressure on the mid lane. I feel like a lot's gonna come down to like KXY's early laning gameplay. Because if you get ahead as Kunkka, it's a lane that you can do well in, or at least trade farm. But if you mess up and you like die early, or Timbersaw hits level 6 before you and gets a kill, the game becomes really hard.
Okay. So what are you going for then? What draft do you support more?
I mean, I am a Visage kind of guy. I see Visage, I go with Visage.
Okay. That's simple. Mastiri, what about yourself?
I think it's a free lifestealer game, not a Timber, because like Kunkka can just sit behind the tower. The two supports of Wolf are weak, so he can just play like between tier 2 and tier 2 in tier 1 enemy. But still, it's free game for HFN. Too easy for HFN this game.
Okay, the panel goes for Wolf, one for the Visage, and then the other one for HFN, not even as hero. So we'll have to find out who is going to take game number 1 between SG and Wolf team. We'll go to our casters and see what's what.
Thank you, Arvo. Yeah, it's always interesting to see how teams adapt. Wolf team, starting the season a little weaker, definitely getting stronger as the weeks go on. Their most recent series, their big wins have been off the back of Mars, 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 Tiny, Tiny, Tiny. Now they get neither of the heroes, Bowie. Is this adapting? Is this them going to be showing they've got more in their wheelhouse than just a couple of picks?
I mean, it's okay adapting. What does kind of freak me out is this Night Stalker on Frank. I think this brings up memories of some scary games that SG played. But overall, I think it's a decent draft. This Timbersaw in the mid lane, like sure, it's good for strength heroes, and it was a good last pick coming from Wolf team. But I think it could struggle because unlike the Kunkka, it lacks catch, and I feel like overall the draft from Wolf team lacks catch.
King Ao is mega dead. Bushwhack into spin. Down he goes. Burner, the position 1, getting the money as well. And it looks like we're going to get ourselves a few bounty runes for Wolf team. Yeah, they're going to get 3, aren't they?
I mean, that's great. I do feel like this is a draft where the Nyx Assassin is going to matter quite a bit because he is really the only low cooldown kind of easy to land stun that they have. So if he struggles in the lane too much, which often happens with Nyx, I feel like the Timber might struggle to really connect any ganks or do much. Because when you look at Wedge, he has a mobility spell, Jugger, not gonna die to this Timber, Kunkka, very tanky. So that's really the only worry I have for 4DR this game.
So do you think that's going to be a case of Wolf team needing that early tempo to really play aggressively, not relying on getting a catch or a smoke gang or something, but rather positioning themselves around objectives?
I'm not even saying that. I feel like it's a game where if it might be hard for 4DR to do the same thing that KXY is going to do, which is, once you get that 6, 7, 8 on the Kunkka, heroes will fear you. Sure, the Lifestealer might not die, but everyone else is kind of in risk of dying, whereas I don't feel like it's going to be the same thing for SG. It feels like it's much harder for Wolf team to pressure any moves that SG does.
Okay. Let's see what they get up to. I mean, with Visage, Timbersaw, it feels like they're going to be able to get onto towers and do a hell of a lot of work early on. I'm curious to see how HFN fares. Wingblade brought up the point that the captains told him, you're not going to get away with farming all game this time around, and had a great performance on his Lifestealer previously. His Armlet Deso build, just running at people, farming heroes, definitely looks good.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the hero can be really strong, but they do have answers for it on the form of this Night Stalker. Eventually, when you have Blink on Frank, this might be a game where the Lifestealer is forced to go BKB, so we might not see the usual greedy items we see from HFN. And also, I just feel like Jug is one of the strongest carries of the patch. So it's definitely, I feel like Burna probably has the better end of the matchup. Even though Lifestealer, can kind of deal with the Omni Slash because you're fast, you can save people. I feel like Jug's just easier to play and to do damage. The network that you have on the Jug feels very impactful always, whereas on the Lifestealer, it is a little bit harder to execute.
It's kind of funny because I've definitely felt the same way, and I've obviously been watching a few other regions as well. But I know that in the past 6 months, as recent as a month ago, a lot of the casters, people were having conversations, players talking about how Jug is just kind of meh, he's not great. And they're going to get a kill on Tavo top with the Juggernaut, though. And that spin and final touch will get Burner kill up top. But what do you reckon has changed? Is it just a mentality thing where you're like, if I go this Phase Boots Maelstrom and run at people, push towers, it becomes way more of a practical hero? Or has something in the meta changed?
I think it's a lot of things. First of all, the BKB nerf. It just feels like because BKBs are harder to come by and this hero has a BKB every 18 seconds, it's strong. But I also feel like people really kind of struggle to understand how strong the level 20 Talon and the Shard were. So I think more and more people just started buying the Shard, and they realized that you don't really need to go Radiance, Ethereal Blade on Jug to make that build work. It's just fine with the Maelstrom. And that's probably how people kind of figured out. I also feel like Healing Ward is so strong. It's a spell. It just allows you to push after you win a fight. It allows you to rosh. Jug is jack of all trades, you know. It has always been, and now that this build is better again, it feels like the hero has a place.
It's like now his tools are useful.
Yeah,
It feels like he's actually getting something done. People figured out how to use them.
Exactly.
Maybe also a similar argument can be made about Lifestealer. The fact that he's got rage, the BKB nerf you're talking about,
Yeah.
item timings, and like synchronization with your team with this earlier build-up of armlet.
I also feel like I've seen a game in Division 2 today, actually, where Lifestealer, it was Coritiba, actually. Mini went early shard on the Lifestealer just because you have a Timber in your team. And it's just insane because it's lifesteal out of any... It doesn't have to be right clicks. And the Timber
damage.
Soul just goes back to full HP if he gets like a really good shock from Timber Chain. So we might see that early before Roche spawns. I mean, it's HFN. So if someone is not going to buy it, it's probably him. But it is really strong once you have the Timber in your team.
Probably going to be a weird question, and don't feel bad if you can't answer it. But what happens if Winter Wyvern curses... Let's say Winter Wyvern curses the Juggernaut. 4 heroes are hitting him. And then Lifestealer puts open wounds on the cursed target. Who gets healed? Anybody? Nobody? Like, do the allies heal from hitting their teammate? Or does Wyvern heal because the curse is hers?
I don't think Wyvern heals because she's not doing the damage. I think no one heals, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe no one does.
That's what I would lean towards as well. I think 90% I'd say Wyvern does not heal. And then maybe there's heal from the allies hitting, but I doubt it.
That would be really funny if you could do that. Mid lane though,
Right, off
like
to demo mode, yeah. They're going
Need
to
some
try and
healing.
catch the Timber and the Nyx. Carapace is there to stop the Starbreaker. King out, still dead to tower hits though. And Adriano getting burnt by that Celestial Hammer. There's lots of spam pings. KXY saying go for it. Let's have him. Get the Timber Sword. Dive him under tower. Get that Bushwhack landing onto him and get our 4-0 start. Here in this game, one of the best of 3.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit worried here for Wolf Team just because this is the 3rd death on actually 2nd death on King RD. But overall, he's struggling with experience, and that Timber Soul, you know, I think people maybe expected to just kill the Kunkka, just do a lot, but I think the Axe marks the spot, really allows this matchup to not be as hard as it might look like, just because you get the free healing in the fountain. And look at the big stack from KXY. Oh,
that's nice. HFN's getting battered down bottom as well. And Lifestealer's now pinging out for some assistance. As Duster with a DD rune expiring. Gonna arrive and throw the Splinter Blast. Arctic Burn to slow him down. And Frank getting munched on. Should be a kill here for HFN with one final touch. Oh, that fairy fire though. Frank's in the trees and it is nighttime. He slips away from the grasps of HFN.
close. I'm surprised that the Lifestealer ended up going for this Rush Armlet build. I think...
Oh, he's got him. He's got him baited by Frank. KXY waiting in the wings after clearing that stack. And now Adriano's going to come here and be like, well, it's all gone. He's farmed it. He's level 8 on Kunkka now. This is a lane I meant to dominate as the Timbersaw. And like you've been saying, it's just not that easy.
Yeah, kind of a struggle town here. This Lifestealer, even though he went for this very... I want to say, not greedy build at all, because, and I think that also allowed the Night Stalker to get more out of the lane, because if he has phase boots, I feel like it's much easier. Not only they would get that kill that we saw the Night Stalker survive, but it just allows you to play with more pressure. Usually, I see this build when you're against a Beastmaster, you just want to make sure you don't get like 100 to 0 against this level 6 of a certain hero, like maybe Mars. So, surprised that HFN with this Wyvern in the lane didn't really go for phase boots. I feel like that could allow them to pressure Frank way more.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like Wolf Team are not quite woken up just yet. Adriano just lost his courier in the mid lane to tower hits, so that's his arcane boots delayed.
Really?
And Juggernaut has started farming neutral items. And another rotation from KXY is here. He's definitely had his coffee. He's going in towards King Ao, but a nice impale will hold them back and stop the initiation. We've got Tavo to level 6 now as well, so this is when some of the action can start. We can have these heroes rotate, look for objectives, maybe pressure that tier 1, which the Timbersaw is set up for.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And catapults are in a minute, right? So that's what the timing they'll be looking for.
Yeah. For the R, he does have the levels, but I'm just like trying to figure out what exactly is the play here for Wolf Team. Like, sure, your Visage is level 6, but I'm not sure they can just go at 10 minutes with a catapult wave and just take the tower out of Burna. Is very, very strong. I don't think he can get bullied out of lane. There's no prospects of King RD being level 6 before the tome is ready. So a lot of the things that I thought Wolf Team could do are very delayed. And I don't... Oh, there you go, King RD might just be dead again.
Yeah, Omni Slash is easy. Burna gets the kill. And a smoke from Kunkka Hoodwink as they swing down south. Trying to connect with Frank here in onto HFN, who's just spent Rage. 20 seconds without it. And there it is. Hunter in the night charges over the trees. The infest into the creep will leave Duster in an awkward spot. Excellent boated, but he got the cold embrace off. This nice little bushwhack and a few punches. Frank will find it. No real recourse there for Wolf Team to strike back. That's not awful for them. It could have been the lifestealer.
Yes, but that's really what I was talking about. Like, sure, you dive tower, and if it's a Kunkka, like, he 100% gets an axe off, and he punishes at least one of the heroes that went for that play. The Timbersaw kind of has to rely on skill shots, which, he will eventually get, but that's also a lot of time he's wasting. Like, this is 20 seconds. He doesn't even get the kill. Oh, no.
LTH is going to slip away. He's got Soul Ring ready. Chakram looks like it's going to be out of range, though. No way. Oh, it clips a Hoodwink, but you're not going to be able to chase any further.
Oh, man.
Yeah, in my imagination, or in my head, I was thinking, right, Armlet, 10 minutes there. Lifestealer has it. Timbersaw is going to be kind of ready, level 8, level 9, 10 minutes in, ready. Visage will have level 7, level 8, ready. That's go time for Wolf Team. But yeah, you're kind of right. The fact that SG have had such a good start means that those timings are less meaningful by far.
They do get the tome here for King RD, but it also means Wyvern's level 4 as they go for this play. Let's see if it's gonna matter or not.
Well, yeah, they missed a couple of spells, not landing onto that Dawnbreaker, leaving King Ao open under tower to get finished off by the Kunkka. So tier 1 still sat at about 600 HP.
This
brought the numbers in.
Oh my god, like, this is nightmare scenario. Like, the catapult wave top is gonna die. Literally didn't do any damage to the tier 1 tower. You don't have a level 6 on your Wyvern, so you can't really go for any, like, smoke plays at the moment. Your Nyx, I guess, has Vendetta, but I struggle to really see what anything that Wolf Team can do in the next 3 to 4 minutes. I really feel like as long as they don't have the level 6 on Wyvern, their moves are bad when they don't have catapults. They really need to be grouping up around a catapult to do stuff.
Yeah, that's why I really thought that 10-minute moment would be we'd have the big group up and push, but it didn't quite work out for them. And this Nyx Assassin, although he is level 6 and he's in Vendetta hunting and scouting around, he doesn't really have a hero to play with. And usually we see some of these burst heroes or mobility heroes. Invoker Sunstrike comes to mind, but of course the Spirits, Ember, Void, anyone with a bit of jump. It's so nice to play with that Nyx who can scout people out as they go on the Timbersaw. He's being burst down. That Sharpshooter breaking him as well. And that is another big kill for SG. 9-0 to start off this series.
I guess that's another thing we kind of talked about. We didn't talk about the break on the Hoodwink, right? It felt like a good last pick because of the shoot strength cores on the side of SG. But this Timber just dies to LTH.
Yeah, they've got both supports now. Frank just pops the Dark Ascension, comes in onto Duster, double kill for LTH, and this is looking like a tier 1 tower for SG.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
HFN did get the tower top. Yes, it's a rough one. Like, who does Nyx play with? Where does the Visage wants to kind of sit in a lane and push and get onto towers? Lifestealer wants to munch on heroes. There seems to be kind of a disconnect. Yes, it looked like a good Timber game, but does it synchronize? Does it play well with the rest of his squad? So far, no, not really.
I have no catch, so it's really hard for the Nyx to, like, be in a position, even if he is in a position to stun someone, the stun from anyone else is non-existent. Like, it's only the birds besides the curse. So it's a very awkward lineup to play, and you're against Jugger, so you really need some sort of better initiation, instant initiation, which they really do not have at the moment. So that's gonna be a mid-tier 1 tower. I mean, that's pretty good. I was not expecting SG to kind of give that away for free, but they do find bottom with Burna.
Yeah, I mean, how big of a lead is 4K at 14 minutes? Like, it's substantial, but is that game ending? Is there something that Wolf Team could come back from, do you see?
It's definitely okay to be 4K gold behind, but I think their draft is not the greatest comeback draft, if I gotta be honest. I really feel like this Juggernaut's going to feel like a much more impactful hero. Even though the timing on the armlet was good on HFN, they barely got any time to use it. I guess he will kill a TH here with the birds. Or will he?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I'll get him in the end.
Alright, that's the first kill. Hooray!
Yeah. 1-1-1. And they've set themselves up in a nice spot now, right? With a deep observer ward in that top jungle. They can control the top third of the map, control around Roshan, which of course is always incredibly important. And the kind of classic Wolf Team thing to do is to put King RD down bottom. Position 4 guy just goes and sits there in the dead lane. Soaks up what experience and gold he can. And the rest of the squad get the safer stuff. True. It might not be safe where the Timbersaw is. Being eyed up by Frank. And Kunkka's combo coming in. Wow, Dawnbreaker's going to come and launch herself across with the Solar Guardian as well. They don't have Spirit Vessel, but they don't particularly need it. Omni Slash will clear through him with a Hyperstone Maelstrom and Dust to Dead too. Frank backstabbed into that Winter Wyvern quite quickly.
Yeah, if it
And the
wasn't...
scary thing here, Bowie, is you talked about the spin on Jug being that kind of pseudo BKB. We've got the one on the Kunkka, and we're going to have one on the Night Stalker soon as well.
Oof, yeah, those timings are definitely clicking. And Jug, like Burn is having such a free game that he just goes straight up Mjolnir. He realizes that the Cold Embrace could become a problem later on, so just maxing that magical damage is going to allow him to play even stronger. And this also opens up Roche, because it increases his DPS quite a bit. They have Healing Ward maxed out. Super scary, and not easy for Wolf Team to contest when they're this far behind during nighttime. So, maybe once this catapults or the glyph gets forced bottom, we'll see Burn rotating towards that Roche, because it just feels like they can get it for free once the BKBs are up.
Yeah, I mean, we have seen games swing off the back of, one big team fight from a squad. And that's something I feel like, you said they're not the greatest comeback team, but I think they've still got the tools at their disposal to wipe the opponent, right? Like a sick Winter's Curse, some good Timbersaw damage, a Lifestealer aiming for these tankier strength heroes to kill them off. Maybe a catch from a Nyx. There's ways for Wolf Team to fight back and swing the game a bit. Catching Frank here is obviously going to be a big one. He's 2-0-4 right now. And Timbersaw getting right on top of him. First pick off of many maybe here for Wolf Team. And that plants themselves firmly again in control of the top part of the map.
That's the best pick off that they could have gotten, actually, because the BKB was very close. He does lose about 200 gold with that death. And yeah, this definitely buys a little bit of time for them. HFN going for that Sunge. Works really well with the Feast. The status resistance is not bad either. I was actually maybe expecting an Orchid build straight up from a KXY, just because they were playing, they were that far ahead. But he's going for it now. I feel like the timing might be a little bit off. We'll see if it don't matter, because I think if you just rush Orchid, anyone wouldn't be safe. But maybe he already feels like this Night Stalker is going to be enough of a silence against everyone but the Lifestealer.
Yeah, maybe so. Also, like, just the safety of the BKB. Like, if you're this far ahead, you're 306 and you're, top net worth or second net worth in the game at 15 minutes or so, you kind of want that BKB just as a safeguard against feeding away a lot of gold and, I think, more importantly, XP to this Wolf Team squad. A long wraparound from the Kunkka. LTH is also angling towards Duster. High ground ward there for the Radiant. Sees them coming, though. King out. Dead to the spin. Frank arrives, just a rage TP out from HFN. They go back in onto mid. They do find Duster in the end. Even that Observer Ward will not give him the safety he required. Now we're up to a 7k lead, 2-15. SG in a prime spot now.
Straight up blank on this Jugger build. A lot of times you see, either Ayasha or even Manta, but because there's no silences, no threat, no stuns on Wolf Team, it just allows Burna to go for this hyper-aggressive build, which I like quite a bit. His He's just going to be able to find the Wyvern, force the Winter's Curse onto the solo Jug if the Wyvern wants to live.
Another one. I found King out again. Here we go with the Celestial Hammer and the spin. The Infest buys a bit of time, as well as the Cold Embrace. King out still looking like he's going to die, though, as the Solar Guardian lands. Burner. The birds are following. Oh, the Omni Slash comes right in the nick of time, and he's been saved by his squad. The Sharpshooter couldn't have been sweeter, and Burner. Oh, man. That was close.
40 HP. Jesus, that's... a lot of times, if I was the one casting that Omni Slash, I'm sure that it would like not bounce to the Visage after I kill the birds. But because he's a pro player, gets the perfect bounce there, gets the kill, and now there's a Wyvern that's probably dead. Yep.
Yeah, they didn't evacuate. They stuck around. This area still not safe for Wolf Team. Losing the Wyvern and the X Mark will drag them back. So Adriano and HFN can't give chase.
And that's really the power of Night Stalker. Like, even though that area has no vision from SG, it has a ward from Wolf Team. The vision from Frank just allows him to play hyper aggressively. He didn't even have to use the BKB for that. But now, this is like 90 seconds of breathing time for Wolf Team because obviously daytime and Dark Ascension is on cooldown. I would love to see Wolf Team trying to force something, and it might just be a Roche. You do have this very lucky double damage on HFN. Jesus.
Yeah, very fortunate. White Stone on the Visage. They've got Wraith Pact ready as well, so another item timing that they were looking towards.
A lot of gold on HFN. I wonder what he might try to build here.
Oh, he's got to be careful about this Kunkka coming in. Orchid is ready, and KXY with the BKB just rushing straight towards Roshan and the Aegis. It's on the floor. Nobody's picked it up yet. The Winter's Curse comes out. That's a good swing of events, but Aegis is snatched by Berna. The Juggernaut grabs it, and they swing hard. Visage and Wyvern, the other one's left flying, not even standing, trying to flap away and use their wings to slip out of danger, but they've got the chase. Splinter Blast connects, but Tavo dead, and that Juggernaut grabs himself a triple kill. Widge is also on the tail of Duster. Quick little Starbreaker has the shard to have that free movement. And SG, jeez. Well, this is a one-way street. Absolute stomping from them.
Yeah, they're just making Wolf Team look like a I don't know, a pug, not really a wolf. But I don't even blame Wolf Team with that play. I think that was probably the best shot that they had. They knew a lot of resources from SG were not available. It's just unlucky. The Winter's Curse was really good, but the way the heroes were placed there, it didn't really allow HFN to pick up the Aegis. Everyone was on top of it, so I don't think it could really click if you wanted to.
Yeah, it was an awkward spot, wasn't it?
And yeah, let's
go.
Watch it again.
And KXY with that Orchid, the Torrent. He just walks straight in with his BKB. I mean, it's a nice curse, I guess. It's what you've got to do. With all that chaos in the pit, you're trying to hit heroes, you're trying to finish off people, you're getting sharpshooted, torrented, and boated again. Juggernaut, in the midst of all that chaos, grabs the prize. So he's still got that for 3.5 minutes.
I just said we might not get the confirmation of your question because there's no shard on site here for HFN, so
Wingblade posted in the chat. Nobody gets healed. Wyvern doesn't deal the damage, so she doesn't, and the teammates can't lifesteal. So it doesn't work like that. Timbersaw, silenced, and Omni Slash, the jump across Berna. He's onto HFN. Oh, it's a lifestealer just dead as well. Winter's Curse is going to hold him in place, but it matters not. This might just be game over, you know, Bowie. 23 minutes in. SG have got such a firm grasp on this. I just do not see a comeback anywhere down the line for Wolf Team. Timbersaw has had no impact. Lifestealer has had no impact. It has been incredibly difficult for them to find any kind of foothold on this game.
Yeah, it's rough because I really value Visage as a hero. So that's definitely like a really strong pick that they had. But overall, the other heroes that Wolf Team decided to pick, I'm not that big of a fan. I think the Timbersaw mid lane definitely has its struggles that got abused hard. And also, they have two heroes on the side of Wolf Team that the two supports rely a lot on experience. Pre-level 6, they are quite useless. And that kind of snowballed into no plays being allowed for Wolf Team. They just lose Wyvern here. That's a dieback. I mean, a buyback, but no OT for Duster, so I'm not even sure what this does.
That's Frank's Blink BKB. Just straight in, kill someone off, get out. Ulti still up for about 10 seconds, though, so they can go again. if they catch a glimpse of someone, but it looks like they want objectives. Tier 2 bots being pinged out. Wolf team have got a lot on their plate.
Yeah, Oh, they're going for a play here. All right.
Yeah, Infest in, King out. I don't know, can you try and carapace? You can't carapace a Jug, right?
Healing ward, I mean, and he has Aegis anyway, so you have to go for someone else.
Yeah, jump into the back, stun up Frank. The boat comes quickly, though. And they're going to turn us back onto the Visage. Duster down. Frank does get picked off by HFN. So at long last, something going Wolf Team's way. But Juggernaut is such a good 1v1 matchup against Lifestealer. He just stands his ground and slices him to pieces. HFN's got to bail. KXY and LTH being chased. Adriano and Tavo trying their hardest to find whatever's left on this battlefield of chaos. And maybe the Timber can find that Kunkka, but it's just a cleanup show from Burner's Juggernaut. There's nothing to stop this man as he only slashes and gets juked a little bit by the Timber Chain. With the Yules and a Bushwhack, they will claim yet another kill.
There you
And
go.
GG's called, yeah. I mean, this... honestly, I want to come back to literally the first sentence that I started this broadcast with. Adaptation. We looked at the previous series where Wolf Team have done very well, and it's been around Mars, been around Tiny, and both of those heroes are banned in the first phase. There was also a conversation, Astina bringing up the fact that LTH on a Hoodwink looks like a very different player to LTH on not a Hoodwink. And even Frank on a Beastmaster looks very different to Frank not on a Beastmaster. But what kind of confluence of events there has happened for Wolf Team to bring out this draft, feel strong about it? Have they scrimmed it? Is this something they feel comfortable with? Because it's not what we've seen them perform with, right?
I really feel like the draft was fine up to the last flex of the Timbersaw. I feel like if they I mean, not even flex, they played it middle. I feel like that Timber kind of ruined their whole draft because Lifestealer had an okay lane. Like the supports obviously were struggling, but if they had a mid here that could pick up the slack and just play with those supports that weren't leveled, there was a chance that they could come back. But you had this like Timbersaw just walking around, hey guys, I have a lot of gold, a lot of experience, but I cannot translate that into anything. I feel like that was a problem. Sure, they were lacking some of the heroes, and SG did a good job like kind of tackling some of the things that worked well for Wolf Team. But I really feel like the Timbersaw did nothing the whole game. Like they saw 2 strength heroes and they're like, Timbersaw! But yeah. I don't think that was a good pick whatsoever.
Yeah, and you've got to wonder if that was a spirit or a puck. Obviously some of these banned earlier on in the draft phase, but there just really wasn't that ability to play with the Nyx or catch or kill, And I honestly think that even though it doesn't look like a death ball or a push draft or a strat that has to be online super early and going and doing stuff, that's how it had to play. If they didn't group up around these early catapults with Timbersaw, even maybe even earlier than 10 minutes, maybe go and find something mid lane with both supports and the Visage when they've hit level 6, or 5-minute catapults push it a bit earlier on, they could have had some more success. But yeah, that game did not look good from Wolf Team. SG, though, spot on with their first game in this best of 3. Burner, Juggernaut, 15-0-6, having a cracking time as we pass it back to Arvo and the panel. In a second.
Thank you, Gareth. Well, guys. Well. 2 things were said on this panel. 1, doesn't matter. Visage always wins his lane. And 2, free Lifestealer game. That was my favorite one. Astini, it was so free. Lifestealer, gave the game for free. So tell me about that one, Astini. What happened, bro?
I think a lot of chaos came from the mid lane because, I really think for the R he didn't play properly the Timber. His skill build, he went 4 points on the reactive armor. That's what non-Timber players do. Like, he just got the Timber chain when he was level 8 or 9. He lost his cool here when he was playing behind the tower. So he had like 2k gold sitting nowhere and didn't have the proper impact that he should have had. Like, they got their first kill with something like 15 minutes, and they should have gotten with 6 or 7 if he was playing the hero properly. But also, I guess the Visage Nyx lane was kind of weird. It was kind of a first blood feed from the Nyx. It was really, it really felt like they weren't awake in the beginning of the match, and hopefully they woke up with that loss.
Okay, well played. Do you agree that it was the mid lane matchup, or do you also see some issues in that off lane that you so very much praised?
Yeah, I'm quite pissed because Astini pointed out like all the points I wrote down. It's like the mid lane went completely different to how we anticipated. Like Timber was a bit sloppy, but also a lot of credit to Kunkka. He played that really well. Like with the early access back to base to refill the bottle, make sure that Timber couldn't pressure, and just like the way he CS'd, he was pretty far ahead at the start. And just like Astini said, like the top lane with Visage Nyx wasn't super well executed. There was a death on Visage as well, where Nyx was just running around in the jungle. It was all around just pretty confusing. And SG just capitalized super well because they knew that Timber was kind of pivotal to the lineup of Wolf Team. So I believe at like 8 or 9 minutes, they just moved in 4 heroes, killed the Timber, took the tier 1, and at that point, what do you do as a Timber? Because you are behind in levels, and Timber is not the kind of hero where you just rotate to a lane and get a kill. All you can do is like shove out lanes and then cry to your team because they picked you a shit hero.
Okay. Well, with that, you're right. There's no recovery here for Wolf Team. That's exactly what happens as they get stomped in 24 minutes. Not much to be said about this game, honestly, when it's such a stomp. Game number 2, we're going to have to find out, though, if Wolf Team is capable of bringing it back, if they're playing a more normal draft, if they're playing a better execution, or if they just give SG the chance to avoid relegation altogether. We're going to have to find out after a small break. Take care and see you very soon.